Hi, I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy. Tried to go live a minute or two ago. The screen cut off, said I had a bad connection. That's one of the risks that you have in going live. But you shake those things off and reboot and try again. I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy. I help companies solve their communication problems. Could be in sales, management, business writing, interpersonal conflicts between employees, media relations, and also, as the Biz Communication Guy, I help leaders become outstanding speakers so that they can speak confidently, clearly, and most importantly, convincingly. Happy Monday to you. On this Monday, I want to share with you what I consider is the amazing power of asking. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples. A couple of years ago, a very prominent local businessman here in Gainesville, Georgia, Gus Whalen, and I were talking about people that we had admired. I mentioned to him that I certainly admired Art Linkletter, longtime radio and television personality, also appeared in a couple of movies, and was known as a generous humanitarian. I mentioned to Gus Whalen that once I had gotten to talk with Art Linkletter when he was appearing as a guest on Larry King Live. At that time, Larry King Live was accepting calls from viewers. I called in and got to ask Art Linkletter a couple of questions. Truly enjoyed that. Well, Gus Whalen said, Bill, I got to talk with him in his home. I said, in his home? You mean you visited with him? How did that happen? And Gus Whalen said, well, here's the way it happened. Nothing very complicated about it. I simply called him in his home in Los Angeles, told him that I had been in business and civic work all my life, had admired him, wanted to visit with him, so he said, come on out. Gus Whalen said I spent a couple of wonderful hours with him in his Los Angeles home. That could not have happened had he not asked. A second example, where do you think actor Jimmy Stewart left all of his movie memorabilia? You'd think maybe UCLA or another close-by institution in California. No, he left it to Brigham Young University. Oh, I didn't know he was Mormon. He wasn't. I didn't know he was an alum of Brigham Young University. He wasn't. Well, then why did he leave his movie memorabilia there? Very simple. Because that's the institution that asked him. The amazing power of asking. A personal illustration. As a kid, I watched classic, great golfer Byron Nelson play an exhibition match. Many years later, I was a spectator during a practice round at the Masters following Arnold Palmer. At the 12th tee, I looked, and in the gallery beside me was Byron Nelson, one of the all-time champions in the game of golf and in life as well. Here was my chance. Should I take it? I did. Mr. Nelson, I asked, could I chat with you for a couple of minutes? I've never had a more gracious conversation with anybody. He started talking about the Masters, told me about shots he had hit when he won the tournament, talked about playing with Ben Hogan. Years later, when Byron Nelson was 92 years old, I wrote him a letter and thanked him for that memorable conversation. I treasure the handwritten card that he sent me back in beautiful, legible writing at age 92. Wouldn't have happened if I had not asked. So I suggest to you that to make your 2017 far richer in experiences, do the asking. Sometimes we don't ask because we're afraid of rejection, sometimes because we're timid, sometimes because we just don't know how to go about it. Well, how do you go about it? You ask politely, you ask courteously, you ask with a smile, and an astounding number of times you will, under those circumstances, get what you ask for. If you don't, well, that's life. We don't always get what we want. As long as I have been teaching communication, coaching people, giving speeches, directing seminars, I don't think I've ever addressed this subject before. And that's my bad, because it is a vital subject. And speaking of asking, I would be glad if you give me a call after viewing my website. My website is biz, that's B-I-Z, bizcommunicationguy.com. Give me a call, 678-316-4300. Talk with me about your communication challenges and problems, and ask how I can help you overcome them. Here's wishing you successful asking this week and throughout the next year. Thanks very much for being with me. I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy. Time now to hit that finish button.